Okay, so you've probably seen the news, right? Prince Harry is back in London, caught up in another legal fight with the British newspapers. This time it's Associated Newspapers, the people who run the Daily Mail. And things have gone from bad to, well, let's just say even worse. I mean, the guy's been trying to take down the tabloids for years now, saying they've chased him and his family around, invaded their privacy, and basically made their lives terrible. And look, I understand it. The British press can be really harsh, but this case, it's just a disaster. The main issue is Harry saying the Daily Mail and other newspapers were getting information illegally, hacking phones, hiring private investigators, the whole thing. He's specifically going after a couple of well-known royal reporters, Rebecca English, who's the royal editor at the Daily Mail, and Katie Nicholl, who's an author and broadcaster. Now, here's where things get really interesting, and honestly pretty awkward for Harry. Nicholl's response is basically, "Dude, you invited me to parties, apparently." She says Harry himself invited her to a private party at the Kensington Roof Gardens. She says she hung out with him, spent time with his friends, and stayed in contact afterward. Her argument? The information she got wasn't from some shady secret source, but from direct, friendly access given by Harry himself. I mean, can you imagine how embarrassing that must have been in the courtroom when that came out? And it doesn't stop there. Rebecca English is also fighting back strongly. Harry's lawyers showed an email from 2007 that they say proves English was trying to illegally get flight details for his then-girlfriend, Chelsea Davy. But English's legal team is saying that it was just normal journalism work, not some criminal plan. They're also pointing to her long professional working relationship with Harry during his time as a working royal. It shows a picture of a prince who wasn't exactly hiding from the press, but rather talking with them, sometimes even happily. Look, I'm not saying the tabloids are perfect, but this case is starting to feel less like a heroic fight against media invasion and more like a personal revenge fueled by forgetting some facts. And the appearance, they're terrible. Apparently, Harry looks stressed and uncomfortable in court. I mean, wouldn't you be? He's trying to show himself as a victim of the press, but the evidence is showing a much more complicated relationship. He's accusing these journalists of criminal behavior that could send them to jail, while his own past actions are being examined very carefully. And then there's the supposed outburst. Sources are saying that Harry reportedly yelled at the judge, mentioning his royal birthright and saying that he can't lose. Now, whether that's true or not, the very idea of it is yikes. The British legal system, for all its problems, is supposed to be based on the idea that everyone is equal before the law. The idea that a prince could claim some kind of special legal protection is just, it's not a good look. It shows entitlement and a complete disconnect from reality. The thing is, this isn't just about this one case. It's about Harry's bigger war against the media, his believability, and his public image. And right now, he's losing ground. The sympathy that once existed for him, the boy who walked behind his mother's coffin, is fading away. People are tired of the endless lawsuits, the constant complaining, the feeling that he's somehow playing by a different set of rules. So the real kicker here is that all this legal drama is happening while the UK is dealing with, actual problems. Like people are struggling to pay their bills. Prices are going up like crazy, and the NHS is falling apart. And here's Prince Harry living in a California mansion, suing newspapers over stuff that happened years ago. It just feels out of touch, right? I think that's why the British public is turning against him. It's not just about the details of this case, it's about the bigger picture. It's about a guy who seems completely disconnected from the realities of everyday life. He's talking about privacy while at the same time making money from his royal connections with tell-all interviews, Netflix documentaries, and a shocking memoir. It's like, which is it, Harry? Do you want to be left alone, or do you want to be famous and rich? You can't have it both ways. And let's be honest, the whole victim story is getting old. I'm not saying he hasn't been through some hard times, but at some point, you have to take responsibility for your own life. You can't keep blaming the press for everything that's gone wrong. It just comes across as whiny and entitled. Plus, the timing couldn't be worse. The royal family has been through a lot lately with the Queen's death and Charles taking over. They're trying to show an image of stability and unity, and then Harry comes along and throws a bomb into the middle of it all. It's not exactly helping things. And the thing is, Charles probably wants to fix things, but Harry's making it almost impossible. How do you make peace when one side is suing the other for millions? It's a mess. A complete and total mess. The really damaging stuff is coming from people who actually know Harry. When they say, "Hey, he invited me to parties," or "we had a professional relationship," it hits harder than any tabloid headline. It makes you question Harry's entire version of events. It makes you wonder if he's really being honest about what happened in the past. And that's the problem. This case isn't just about phone hacking or private investigators. It's about Harry's believability. And right now, that believability is taking a serious beating. The judge didn't accept his royal immunity argument, and the public isn't buying his victim's story anymore. He's lost the benefit of the doubt, and that's a tough thing to get back. Honestly, I think he's doing more harm than good with these lawsuits. He's pushing away the British public, damaging his own reputation, and dragging the royal family through the mud. It's a lose-lose situation for everyone involved. I think Harry needs to take a step back, rethink his strategy, and maybe, just maybe, try to find a way to make peace with the press. Because right now, he's just digging himself into a deeper and deeper hole. And honestly, it's hard to watch. So, what's next for Harry? I honestly don't know. He's painted himself into a corner. He's got these lawsuits going on. His reputation's taking a nosedive, and he seems more isolated than ever. You've got to wonder who's advising him, right? I mean, is he surrounded by yes-men who just tell him what he wants to hear? Because if he had someone giving him honest advice, they'd be telling him to cut his losses and focus on something else. The problem is, I think Harry's become so focused on this idea of fixing the wrongs of the past that he can't see the forest for the trees. He's so convinced that he's the victim that he's fighting the good fight, that he can't see how much damage he's doing to himself and to the people around him. And the thing is, even if he wins these lawsuits, what does he really gain? A few $1 million, a symbolic victory over the tabloids. It's not going to bring his mother back. It's not going to erase the pain of his childhood. It's not going to magically fix his relationship with his family. What it will do is further push him away from the British public, further damage his reputation, and further cement his image as a whiny, entitled prince who's out of touch with reality. Look, I'm not saying the guy doesn't have real complaints. The British press can be awful. They chased his mother to her death, and they've been relentless in their coverage of him and his wife. I get why he's angry, but there's a difference between being angry and being self-destructive. And right now, Harry's actions are just self-destructive. He's so focused on getting revenge that he's losing sight of everything else. And it's a shame, because I think there's still a lot of good in him. He's done some great work with veterans. He's spoken out about mental health, and he's clearly passionate about making a difference in the world. But all of that gets covered up by this constant drama with the press. It's like he can't help himself. He's addicted to the attention, even if it's negative attention. And the media, they're loving it. They're feasting on this stuff. Every lawsuit, every outburst, every embarrassing revelation just fuels the fire. It's a never-ending cycle. Honestly, I think the best thing Harry could do is just disappear for a while. Go off the grid, spend some time with his family, and try to figure out what he really wants out of life. He needs to stop fighting these battles, stop airing his complaints in public, and start focusing on healing and moving forward. But I don't see that happening. I think he's too invested in this story of victimhood, too convinced that he's right to back down now. And that's why I think this whole thing is just going to keep getting worse. More lawsuits, more embarrassing revelations, more public anger. It's a tragedy, really. He could have used his platform to do so much good, to make a real difference in the world, but instead, he's just become a joke. And that's a damn shame. It really is. The guy had potential, but he wasted it. The royal family is probably breathing a sigh of relief. With Harry out of the picture, they can focus on Charles and William and try to show that image of stability and unity that they're so desperate to maintain. But even they must realize that this whole thing is a mess. It's a stain on the monarchy, a reminder of all the dysfunction and drama that hides beneath the surface. And it's all so unnecessary.